In this segment, we're going to discuss the new Hydrophytic Cover Index, or HCI. The Hydrophytic Cover Index is going to replace the 50-20 rule and dominance ratio, as well as the prevalence index. When you're in the field, you're going to be using a data sheet, and it'll look something like this. And you're going to fill it out as you have in the past. And here's an example. However, when you write your species that you observe within your sample plot, note that we no longer need to separate out the strata. We're not going to designate tree, shrub, or herb stratum. Once you have your list of your species, begin to record the % aerial cover of each of the species within the sample plot. And you'll record that cover here in this column. Be certain to note even those species that you cannot identify, and record their aerial cover as well. The next step is for you to visit the National Wetland Plant List webpage, and you're going to use that to look up the wetland indicator status rating for each of the plants that are on your list here. You're going to note that indicator status here on your data sheet. The next step is the math. And so what we're going to do is to use the data sheet to help guide us through the math. The first step is to calculate the total % cover of all of your obligate species, fac-wet species. And you can do that separately as I've done. You'll find that from your data sheet and add them up. You will place this value on the data sheet here. You're then going to calculate the total of all of your known species cover. Separately, total your unknown species cover. To get a combined total cover, you will add the total known and unknown, dividing the total cover of your known species by the total combined, and record that value here. The purpose is to ensure that you have at least 80% of the cover of your species identified. And in this case, we do, and that ensures we have a valid sample. Our next step is to calculate the Hydrophytic Cover Index. To do so, we're going to take these values from above and add them for the obligate, fac-wet, and facultative species. Place that value here. We are then going to use for the total species cover the total known species cover, and place that value here. We're then going to divide our facultative or wetter by our total. And so that you are certain I have my mathematics correct here, we're going to use a calculator to show that we in fact have 81.5, or you can round up to 82% cover that is facultative or wetter. This is greater than 50%, and so therefore we have a positive indicator for hydrophytic vegetation in the sample plot, and you can mark that on your data sheet here. You can now mark on your data sheet that yes, hydrophytic vegetation is present. Today we discussed the new Hydrophytic Cover Index, and this is going to replace the 50-20 and dominance ratio, as well as the prevalence index. You're going to now enjoy a more accurate and more efficient method for determining whether you have hydrophytic vegetation in your sample plots. Thank you for joining me. Hope to see you in the field.